Luke, thanks for joining us, mate. Now, before we get into the serious stuff about Dreamtime, you do realise you're sitting in a studio with the man who started Dreamtime, Tony Greenberg. Do you know that?
Yeah, I know he's one of the men behind it all. One of the,
I didn't start. How many times do I have to tell you? I didn't start Dreamtime. I came up with the name Dreamtime with the G. Now, you would have known that, Luke, wouldn't you?
Yes, I do know that, and I know that sometimes Simon Matthews probably doesn't get enough credit when he was over at Essendon for the concept as well. But
don't worry about that. Just me. Just focus on me.
Yes,
Luke.
Greedy, yes.
Yeah, focus on me.
You're a legend of the club, mate. Yeah, absolutely. You've been here for a long time, mate.
Thank you, mate.
Hopefully they might name a media room after you or something in the new redevelopment.
They will. The Tony Greenberg toilet sounds better. All right, mate, let's get into the stereo. Let's talk about the power of Dreamtime, what it means to you and everyone.
Yeah, well, obviously, coming into our 21st year of Dreamtime at the G, and it's just amazing to see how far it's come and how far it's grown. And obviously, Richard, been there at the very start back in your playing day. But just amazing to see how far it's come. And the one thing I was just talking to the players about actually that still amazes me, even in my 16th season, is how far people come for this game.
Yeah.
And how much money's raised. Like, there'll be groups in the stadium on Friday night that have raised $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 to bring a bunch of kids to a game of footy. So that's the thing that still, sticks out for me. And, just the fact that we get to celebrate First Nations culture and, what we've contributed to our country and in a positive mindset too. There's so much negative stuff that goes on about Aboriginal people. So it's great that we have this platform to, showcase our culture and issues. And, it's just an amazing time for the club.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it means just so much to the community then, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's just, I suppose the things that sticks out to, obviously one is, we get to come together. There's not too many events in Australia where you have, 12, 15,000 Indigenous people at something. There are, NRL and AFL All-Stars and stuff. That's probably a different thing. But, a lot of people come. It's great. Like, I'm looking forward to, reconnecting with some of my family members that I haven't seen for a little while. And it's not at a funeral or a wedding or an engagement party. So, that's a big part of it, is just that coming together. And also just the fact that, I still go back to why the game started, Greeners, around, recognising our contribution that we've made to the game, and then also what the game's contributed to Aboriginal people, because, history shows that, Tom Wheels came across Marngrook back when, he lived with the Jabberong people down in the southwest, and he'd never seen, kicking and marking before. He'd only ever seen a ball kicked from the ground. So, it goes back to those foundations of the game around Marngrook.
Yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely. Yep.
And just talk us through the ceremonial dance. I know back in 2022, that moment.
That was awesome.
That still sticks in my memory, but just talk us through the ceremonial dance that we'll see.
Yeah, so obviously, going back a while now, we spoke about, love to get the players involved in that pre-match sort of ceremony sort of stuff. And then I think we did our first pre-game sort of dance, I think might have been about 2016. And then we spoke to some of the players like Rancy and Basher and stuff, and Trent and Jack, and how do we get the players involved? And then obviously I reckon it might have been 2019 when a young Sydney Stack stepped up.
Oh yes, that was iconic, wasn't it?
Yeah. Sydney sort of had a crack and showed his leadership attributes, and I think some of the boys might have felt a bit, actually this young fella's had a crack. He went out by himself. So so it's sort of gone from there. And then obviously the moment back in 2022. But this year we have our Lagunas dancers. So it's a mix of participants from our program and from our Next Generation Academy. There are a couple of actual genuine draft candidates that are going to be dancing on Friday night.
Okay.
And then we're very lucky that we have two proud Palawa men coming across from Launceston. Obviously, as it's well known now, there's a strong theme on Tasmania this year with Ryan developing the jumper, and by the look of it, Richard, I think the whole state's very proud of what's been going on.
I saw his mum actually down in Lonnie a few weeks ago, coincidentally bumped into her. Yeah, very proud.
Yeah, very proud. So we've got Nathan and Harley Jack, who Harley Jack being Ryan's first cousin. So they're going to join our boys on Friday night. So they'll do like the call out to country, and then boys will have a bit of a acknowledgement of the the mob down there at Palawarra, and really looking forward to it. Those boys, 2 Tassie boys from what I heard, have actually been in training. So
good.
Got prime time, mate. So they're just trying to shred.
You've got to shred up. Shred up.
Especially when you hit middle-aged, mate. So really exciting. Strong focus on the Pakenhar people of northwestern Tassie or Lutruwita. So absolutely thrilled for the Tasmanian community. I know St. Pat's are over in Launceston are over again, supporting the game, and I've given out about 60 tickets to the Mansell family. So
awesome.
could be really happy for the Mansells and Rye and just the community down there in Tasmania.
Now, look, so just on the Indigenous jumper designs, they've become huge. Every club does them, but we were the first.
Absolutely,
we were the first team that did them.
So 2011, we spoke about it for a couple of years with our inaugural director, Belinda Duarte, who's over at the Bulldogs now. But we spoke about doing a jumper, and then I think it might have been Cameron Green. I think it might have been Cameron, was it Green? He approached me, and then we had this idea. Jira Harvey did the first Guernsey, and she actually produced it in about 18 hours, which was just amazing. Went from there. Our club did get a little bit of unfair flack. Like I know Brendan did get the old call, what are you doing to our sacred sash and all that sort of stuff. And we had the courage to do that. And then now it's just standard. And if you don't do one, you're probably out on your own. And it's gone across to other codes and other sports. But the rewarding thing for me, and I actually got a text message yesterday from a friend, is seeing it filter down to local grassroots footy.
Absolutely.
And the friend that texted me yesterday, she lives here, but she's from Rockhampton, and the whole league in Rockhampton gets on board. That's a non-football state. Rocky's probably a mad NRL town, I'd say. And
it would be.
Just to see it filter down to local level, because that's a whole education process for that local club. You got to engage an artist, and then you learn the story of that, and the connections from that region. So it's fantastic, and I'm biased, but I think Ryan and his grandpa absolutely nailed it this year. It's absolutely beautiful. Guernsey, Uncle Clyde's actually arriving in a couple of hours, actually, so I'll try and get him up here later. But I think they've absolutely nailed it, and I must acknowledge the club and what they've done with the media around it as well to, take those boys down to Wookalina, they call it, or Mount William National Park in February, all those Tasmanian boys in Little Morrison. We've just absolutely knocked the media for 6 in spectacular Tassie. Richie, how beautiful it is down there, mate.
They would have loved it.
Oh, they did, they got a lot out of it. Obviously, the Mansells have their the Wookalina Walk, the tourism enterprise that Uncle Clyde dreamed of years ago, and the little 40k track along the Tasmanian coast to the Bay of Fires, and you don't get any better place. It's absolutely beautiful, amazing food. You get to eat Tassie scallops and octopus, mate, and
best
mutton
scallops
bird.
down there.
I've since I did the staff trip in December, I've never had a scallop back in Bendigo since. Yeah. They're just not the same, mate.
Not quite the same.
They're that rubbery one, man.
Too inland.
So we only wear the Dreamtime Guernsey just for the actual night, don't we? Because obviously we played North last weekend. They wore theirs, but we're saving ours obviously for Dreamtime.
So we specifically, it is a Dreamtime at the G Jumper. It's specifically for that night. So we're only wearing it once this year. We have worn it twice a couple of times. I think when Marlon. Obviously, it's been a bit of a curse actually for the artists. I was almost tempted to tell Uzad just not to play Ryan on the weekend. Like, mate, just put him because obviously Nate collected him a couple last year, the year before, and then Morris went down, and then Marlon got suspended as well. So we have worn it a couple of times, but specifically for the night.
Dreamtime at the G,
my belief is, I think in the club in general, that it's more special if it's just once. Perhaps if Dreamtime at the G kicked off the round, like if it was the first game, we'd potentially wear it twice, but I'm comfortable and happy to wear it once.
It's sensational, as you said, and we congratulate the Mansell family and Ryan.
Definitely.
Beautiful. We can't wait for Dreamtime. It's going to be huge. Fully ticketed. Luke, thanks for coming up, mate.
No, thanks for having me, boys.
Luke.
Thank you.
Thanks, Luke.
Mate. Thank you.